Dunkin' is here to help keep you up and running, Philadelphia, with a free medium hot coffee Monday through Friday once a week for members only. So grab a cup of the new Explorer batch with smoky dark berry notes that's an adventure in every sip. Or give a try to the new Dunkin' Midnight, a richer, intensely dark roast with hints of chocolate. Get one free medium hot coffee once a week Monday through Friday for members. Join the Dunkin' app today. America runs on Dunkin'. Exclusions apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer valid through January 29th. Dunkin' is here to help keep you up and running, Philadelphia, with a free medium hot coffee Monday through Friday once a week for members only. So grab a cup of the new Explorer batch with smoky dark berry notes that's an adventure in every sip. Or give a try to the new Dunkin' Midnight, a richer, intensely dark roast with hints of chocolate. Get one free medium hot coffee once a week Monday through Friday for members. Join the Dunkin' app today. America runs on Dunkin'. Exclusions apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer valid through January 29th.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Sometimes you've just got to get some quality me time. Like right now, when you get away for a few hours to Kildare Village, because we've got hundreds of new arrivals, including new boutiques like Sandro and Maj. Escape to Kildare Village and get front row ready for a new season with a new look and a new smile on your face. A little me time goes a long way at Kildare Village, where there's something extraordinary every day.
SuperValue online shopping delivers convenience. And now with €15 off your first online shop over €75, we deliver value too. Order before 12 noon and you can get your shopping delivered the very same day. Shop online now at supervalue.ie. It's got to be SuperValue.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Sporgy,
the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions.
And now, here are your hosts.
It's number 138. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich. I am the Iceman, kind of.
No, Rich is the Iceman this week. We'll get to that, buddy. Getting yours. Well, technically, it's Rich getting his, but we have a new NBA World Championship. We did not ice that one. None of us called this one. They had Toronto Raptors. Congrats.
Yeah, all season we've been basically just handing it to Golden State, and fucking Canadians got to throw a monkey wrench in the works.
Well, the Warriors iced that one. They iced their knee, their leg, their arm.
Yeah. Hey, Drake's home team finally won.
Congratulations, Toronto. You beat half a team.
No, listen, okay. Listen, I was with you on this initially, but hear me out, all right? Because we all grew up in Detroit. We were all little kids-ish. 1989, when the Pistons won that first world championship. And I remember everybody talking about there should be an asterisk by it because Magic hurt his leg. Fuck no, fuck that. You got hurt, you got beat. Don't play that game, Ice.
No, now, the bad boys went back-to-back, boss. So if the Toronto Raptors go back-to-back, I'll say fuck the asterisk. But if the Toronto Raptors fall apart in the offseason or stay together and don't make it back to the finals, motherfucking asterisk.
No, I'm just saying that it was that first one before the Pistons went back-to-back, people were saying give them the asterisk because Magic hurt it. No, you got hurt, you got beat. Sorry you lost. Come on.
Well, and here again, you're saying because Magic got hurt. Man, KD was hurt. Curry was hurt. Klay Thompson was hurt. Iguodala was hurt. Looney was hurt. Who did they have left?
Peanut Vendor was hurt. Beer Vendor was hurt.
Yeah, well, here's the point. If Kawhi Leonard had gotten hurt, no one would fucking be boo-hooing for Toronto.
No,
you never apologize for a championship. That's part of the fucking game, man. People get hurt.
No, I totally agree with you. And good on them. Yeah, congratulations on your first championship. Unfortunately for Toronto, there does carry an asterisk. You have to go back next year.
In your book that only you read,
the Book of Ice.
Asterisk. In the history books, there will be none.
No, absolutely. But if you don't go back and win another one, everybody's going to know that you only won because they weren't there.
I'll give you that. I'll concede that. You know, you won't get your asterisk. But yeah, if they don't, if it's like a one-off, like maybe you're the Houston Rockets in 1995. You know, if it's a one-off deal, you know, people are going to question, yeah, but, you know, because there's always going to be that with that Houston team. There's always going to be like, yeah, but Jordan didn't play. You know, they're always going to have that following them. You know, and then I could see where you're coming from, Ice. If this is it, and Toronto doesn't see another title for another however many 20-something years or however many years they've been around, then yeah, a lot of the history books are going to go, yeah, but Golden State was mostly injured. You're playing Steph Curry and the B team. You know, so I get where you're coming from with that, Ice.
Right, and not only that, Steph Curry himself was hurt. He had tape over both fingers the whole damn series because he had sprained his middle finger. Now, here's the thing. Here's the almost ironic thing out of all this. I'm not really a Golden State fan. I'm a Steph Curry fan. That cat is a generational player. But I'm going to call an orange a spade, whatever you want to fucking call it. That team is the super team. If they're all hurt, well, then they're no longer a super fucking team. There are a bunch of injured players on that team that's going, well, at least we made it back to the finals for the 5th year in a row.
Yeah. Maybe next time.
They did the same thing when they faced LeBron James back-to-back. First year, spanked the shit out of him. Second year, people got suspended, people got hurt. Oh, and here comes LeBron James and crew. Who? What happened the year after that? Okay, thank you very much.
But I do want to disagree with Drake said the dynasty is over. Slow your roll, Drake. Slow your roll.
Well,
down the crack pipe.
Kind of.
No, they've still won what? 3 out of the last 5 years?
Yes, 3 out of 5. They've been there all 5 years.
Yeah. So,
by the way, folks, this week's edition of Iceman's favorite segment, "The Sky is Falling," is brought to you by Snickers, Coke,
and crack,
and the business end of Ice's crack pipe is hot to the touch. So
the sky isn't falling.
Ice's hot take brought to you by crack cocaine.
It's going to be, and I've said this for a couple of weeks now, it's going to be an interesting offseason. The dynasty isn't over. I don't think a dynasty can, quote, be over. Either it is one or it isn't one. Does their run end? We've really got to see this offseason. With KD being injured and hurting his Achilles, he would be retarded not to activate his player option and sit out for a year and get paid for it. But where does that leave him the year afterwards? You see what I'm saying? So does he take a max contract and sit out his first year of it? Or does he activate his player option in Golden State and get paid to sit out? Cue the Jeopardy music. I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting offseason to see what happens with everybody, including Golden State.
Well, it already has been. Because what you said wasn't going to happen. Rich called it.
Here we go.
Well, I guess a little bit in Ice's defense, I didn't call it. I just said the experts in Vegas are reporting that Anthony Davis, the unibrow, was going to L.A. And he was like, "No, that's not happening." I'm like, "Okay, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if that works out. You're going against experts and fucking insiders in Vegas." So
yeah,
right. They had to have known something I didn't, obviously. But that's just the stupidest thing ever for Los Angeles to do. They gave them so much for him.
Really?
Oh, dude.
I thought Lonzo Ball thought he was a bust.
Lonzo Ball is a bust. I wasn't talking about Lonzo Ball. They should have cut him, but the fact that worked into a trade is absolutely laughable at the Pelicans.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Oh, they got a haul for
draft picks.
Yeah, they got a haul for Davis. That's
yeah. I mean, we talk about a load of baseballs, basketballs, footballs, and you traded for this, that, and they fucking dumped for Davis.
Yeah,
man.
but didn't they just pick up Zion Davis or
Zion
Williamson? Bah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they knew that was coming. Yeah, sure. See ya.
But I mean, Ball doesn't need to be the man. He just needs to play sound defensively, which he's capable of doing at times. So if he can do that, They might.
Okay, just so everybody.
They might only be a year or two away from. Oh shit, that team in New Orleans with the stupid name. People better start paying attention.
Lonzo Ball is Mateen Cleaves. Period. End of story. That's it. He is a bust.
Well, LA's not going to win another championship. His dad said so.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Well, give him our microphone, please.
Who the fuck does he think he is? Babe Ruth?
He guarantees it.
Like he's going to curse the Lakers because why?
The curse of the ball.
Because your big ass Anthony Robbins yellow teeth said so? What the fuck? No. Like, who the fuck are you, dude? You're the father of a fucking overhyped basketball player who's in New Orleans now, and two more where the fuck are they at? Exactly.
It starts with an L.
He's going to be Menendez. I'm telling you. These motherfuckers are going to triple team up on him.
Honestly, that type of guy growing up with him as a father, they're probably all used to
Lithuania. God damn, took me forever.
But yeah, they're probably all used to it. They probably do one of two things. They believe what he says, they buy into what he says, or they just kind of roll their eyes and be like, whatever, Dad. Sure.
You know what, though? He built the Big Baller brand. He's making money.
That went bankrupt?
Paid. Did it go bankrupt?
Yes.
Yeah?
Did it?
Lost
want to charge $500 for a pair of shoes. You ain't Nike. Those aren't Jordans.
Lost $2 million of Lonzo's money.
And, I'd be like, hey, consider it severance pay. Hit the bricks. That's the last dime you get from me, motherfucker. I don't care if you huffed and puffed on top of my mother and squirted me into her. That's the last dime you get from me. I mean...
Yeah, you see families fighting over hundreds of thousands of dollars. This motherfucker done lost a couple of million in my shit.
The shit I saw people fighting over when my dad died, which was... I'm like, okay, there's nothing special about this. You understand that, right? Like, it's a fucking VHS tape collection. There's DVDs now. No one wants this shit.
But you can't get these pornos anymore.
He didn't even write the names on the damn tape. It's not even his handwriting.
Yeah, we get to play porno Russian roulette. You pop a tape in and be like, well, who knows what we're going to get.
Hope he's not in this one.
You sit down to watch a John Wayne movie, next thing you know, you got, Star Wars, the entire Dykes crack, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
This isn't Short Circuit.
But he's, what he should probably do, what Daddy Ball should probably do, but he won't do. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know anyone who would hire him, to be honest with you. He should probably have like a sports talk show or something and just say provocative shit, get people riled up, and make money that way. Because, he is on all the time. Not a fucking week goes by that I don't see at least 2 videos of him on some sports show saying some dumb shit, getting people worked up, and the comment section looks like a fucking Make America Great versus Lock Her Up fucking comment section. You know what I'm saying? Circa 2016. And I'm just like... He could probably make a decent buck doing that, and he wouldn't need to rely on his son's money. You could pay him back. How about that?
Well, he got in trouble last week, and now we're being. I have a feeling we're all about to be put in a shitty position of being on this guy's side. Did you hear about what he the controversy, quote unquote, that he got in with someone? I guess shocking that was involved with ESPN.
No,
she asked if he could switch gears. The anchor asked if she could switch gears, and he said, "You can switch gears with me anytime." And it just connect the dots from there. You know where this goes.
Daddy
no,
ball.
I don't. I'm not even that far out. I mean, I can usually connect some dots, Chris, but honestly, I'm like, what the fuck?
No, Rich said it. Rich said it. He's now a sex criminal because he said you can switch gears with me anytime.
Right, and you can, because he goes from completely serious to way the fuck out there in a minute.
Well, because it was a female anchor.
It makes perfect sense. You're like, man, he is a great man. The next minute, you're like, you're fucking retarded.
And because it was, and this isn't the case of people who were, the people it didn't happen to being more offended than the person it happened to. No, the anchor that it happened to is the person who made the kerfuffle about it.
But I'm asking you, what did it meant to say? Like, you can switch gears with me anytime is a metaphor for what?
I think it was his attempt at trying to be affable. Do you want my honest opinion of him trying to not be an asshole?
That's what I'm saying. And I kind of agree with him. But like I told you, for one sentence, you're like, God damn, he is amazing. The very next sentence, it's like, you were out of your goddamn mind. So you could switch gears with him anytime. It's just, let's take it up a notch. Okay, bring it down a notch, LeVar.
But that's where we're at now.
What did she say he was implying?
She made some little off-the-cuff joke about she's going to have to talk to HR or something about telling him to stay focused, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if he had to apologize or if an apology was demanded, but I know for a couple days last week it was a thing.
All I'm saying is that's a little too far to stretch.
Yeah, not anymore. I mean, not in 2019. Not in 2019, son.
I've seen some stretching, Chris.
It's your first day on this podcast?
No.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome Ice to the show, everybody.
No, that's an elastic band a little too far for me. I don't see how that got stretched.
I mean, I'm with you, but nothing surprises. Donald Trump is our president. Nothing surprises me anymore. The guy who had to fire Bret Michaels from a fake company is our president.
Bret Michaels and Meatloaf.
Again, from a fake company. He's now our president. But, so, talk about trades. 20 minutes on basketball, again, might be a record for us. More trades happening. Involving a black guy, but not in basketball.
We're talking about PK going to New Jersey?
Yeah.
Yep. Apparently, I don't know. This is the sad part. I really don't know the details behind the scenes. I don't know if he necessarily wanted the trade, was pushing for the trade, or if the team was just like, you know what, this isn't working out. Why don't you go enjoy the East Coast for a while?
Weren't we just talking about this dude getting traded not too long ago?
Yeah, he got traded for Shea Weber. Shea Weber went to Montreal, and he came to Nashville. I think it was like 2 seasons ago. I mean, I don't know. Apparently he's not what a lot of people thought he was. I mean, either that or he's going to end up being one of those journeymen who, like a Claude Lemieux type. I mean, Claude Lemieux, despite the shit with Draper and D-Mac and all that, he played on some really great fucking teams and contributed. And, won some championships, but he never really had a steady team, a home. Closest, I guess, would be, in most people's mind, the Avalanche because of the shit with the Red Wings. I mean, he played for Jersey. I think he played for the Oilers, Avalanche. I mean, he bounced around quite a bit. But then again, we're post-lockout NHL. Ridiculous long-term contracts and bouncing players around. It's not like it was 20, 30 years ago. I mean, Christ, when Gretzky got traded, you'd have thought, someone had assassinated the Queen or some shit, the way Canadians were crying. Even Gretzky cried at the press conference.
A little tear.
So I was thinking about that the other day, Rich. Hockey used to be huge all over the place. Then they had a lockout, and everybody forgot hockey existed.
Well, I mean, we've gone over it before, but them losing the contract with ESPN did not help. Then bouncing around to a bunch of channels that, what was it, the Outdoor Network had them for a while?
OLN.
Yeah, and it was like, what, 30% of people with cable got that channel?
Right.
I mean, I remember, fellow hockey fans trying to get a different cable provider and having to end up going the satellite route because no cable provider that was in their area carried that channel. Now NBC's got them, but I mean, I shudder to think at the ratings. I mean, dude, at the end on ESPN there, reruns of the World Series of Poker were getting better ratings than the NHL was.
Yeah?
Ouch. And a lot of that had to do with, I mean, no offense, but who the fuck wants to watch the Atlanta Thrashers and, Florida Panthers on a Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Not even people in Atlanta or Florida.
That's the other, that's the other talk we've had, Rich, is, the old guard and all this shit. But here's the thing, though. I could say what I want about LeBron James and, you can say what you want about Tom Brady. They're the new guard of this era. Those sports still continue on with different people that have, appeal to the game. People want to go see them. Very few and far between in hockey do you have a new guard. You have, Sidney Crosby, and you have, Sidney Crosby, and you have, Sidney Crosby. Alex Ovechkin, you have him. You hear, left and right, McDavid, stuff like that. You hear a couple of names, but nothing ever pans out. Nothing's ever publicized. So you don't have really a new guard in hockey like you do with the other sports.
Hey, by the way, Brett Hull, still hammered.
Yeah, still celebrating.
That's what I'm hearing.
Every sport, whether even the most casual or non-sports fan, every sport pretty much has a player who's playing right now people who, even if they don't follow sports, go, oh yeah, I've heard of him. LeBron for basketball, Tom Brady for football, Crosby for hockey. I mean, baseball,
you have a few.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Stanton, Judge.
Well, right now you got, hey, Big Papi, isn't that guy who got shot?
Oh, yeah. He used to play for somebody over on the East Coast somewhere.
But yeah, so I mean, that's, I guess there's your ambassadors of the games to the public. But I mean, Crosby, okay. There's a lot of young talent out there that I think has a lot more of an upside than he has left in the tank. I'm not saying he's retiring anytime soon, but LeBron, I think this season was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, the sun has started to dip below the horizon for LeBron.
Yeah, I would say that he's reached the apex of the mountain, and now he's coming down the other side. And, Brady, who the fuck knows, man? Brady's just a household name because all the championships and fucking who he married.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, New Jersey is, they got the defenseman they wanted. They got the number 1 overall pick, so they got Hughes. We'll see what happens there. A couple of years. I mean, they're saying Hughes could probably start with the big team opening night. If that's the case, and he's that type of player, and he is the generational talent that people were hyping him up to be. New Jersey has, might actually be stepping up a little bit. And I mean, it is shit. The number 2 pick went to the Rangers, so that area of the country is doing pretty good in hockey right now.
On paper.
Well, yeah, but I mean, everybody understands if you're if you're into hockey, that hockey is in hockey cities, you're the 4th sport, unless you're in Canada. And in non-hockey cities, you're the fifth sport because you probably got more NASCAR fans than you do hockey fans. So that's just the way it is.
Ice, looking at you.
Well, speaking of picks, though, NBA, how you doing? I think they're scared of the farm system, guys. I really do. Obviously, college basketball players is where it's at or where it has been. But they're taking actually a page out of NHL's playbook and going overseas. The number
what is the NBA's farm system?
The college. It was always college. It's always been college.
No, I understand that, but don't they have like a D League, like a developmental league?
Yeah, they have the development league. Do they still got the NBA Europe or whatever the fuck that was? The European League.
I know they had that and down in Mexico or something like that too.
All these things probably make more money than WNBA. Just
right. But yeah, this draft that they just had, like the top 5 came out of college, maybe the top 10, and then everybody went overseas, Croatia, France, and places like that to get their players.
Was the talent pool not that deep, or is it tainted?
I think it's tainted.
There was a story that came out last week. Not a lot of schools were named in it, but apparently there's a bunch of stuff about to come down with, I think, 8 or 9 Division I schools in their basketball programs.
Was Michigan named in any of it?
Nobody was named yet, but the first thing that jumps in my mind, John Beilein just left right after he signed a big contract.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Did he... maybe someone who sounds like me brought it up a couple weeks ago when it happened. Is he pulling a Pete Carroll? Heat's on. See ya. Hey, the cops are coming. I'm out of here. It's pretty much what's happening. Oh, shit, the cops. Pete Carroll's running out the back door. Hey, are we going to find out that's what Beilein did?
No.
Cops are on their way. It's about time for me to go. Thanks for the decade and a half, Michigan. I'm out.
Yeah, but if that's the case, oh boy. And they're bringing back fucking Juwan Howard as head coach, so the Fab Five's going to be all up in, well, except for Weber most likely, going to be all up in U of M basketball games. And then some scandal comes down, and let's say it does come down and something has happened at U of M that we don't know about, and they get sanctioned, it's just going to be the curse of the Fab Five all over again.
And hey, by the way, don't you remember Michigan was instructed to forgive Chris Webber by Jim Harbaugh last season?
Oh, yeah. And then the Warriors turn around and do the same thing in the finals in the NBA. It's okay, Chris. We get it.
But, yeah, did we ever talk about Juwan Howard crying?
Yeah, we did.
It's not a good look.
Whatever. I don't even know what to say about all that.
Yeah.
I really don't. It's just, okay, dude. I mean, I get it. You're excited. You're emotional, but yeah, if I'm looking to where to go, I'm going to be like, do I really want to play for a guy who cries just getting named head coach?
Well,
I mean,
there's a new breed of young person, Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Welcome
that's
to
true.
the show, Rich.
Yeah, Rich. Welcome, everybody. It's Rich. Yeah, but
yeah, I know. The least masculine generation in the history of this country has decided that masculinity is the major problem in this country. So maybe crying will attract the recruits that he wants.
Sporgy. ChristopherMedia.net.
At DBS, you can study in the heart of Dublin city centre. Choose from over 40 CAO programmes in business, computing, psychology, social care and law. Programmes designed to help you create your future. Realise your ambitions. Apply now at dbs.ie.
SuperValue online shopping delivers convenience. And now with €15 off your first online shop over €75, we deliver value too. Or with our free click and collect service, you can pick it up in store, packed and ready to go. Shop online now at supervalue.ie. It's got to be SuperValue.
At DBS, you can study in the heart of Dublin city centre. Choose from over 40 CAO programmes in business, computing, psychology, social care and law. Programmes designed to help you create your future. Realise your ambitions. Apply now at dbs.ie.
Sometimes you've just got to get some quality me time. Like right now, when you get away for a few hours to Kildare Village, because we've got hundreds of new arrivals, including new boutiques like Sandro and Maj. Escape to Kildare Village and get front row ready for a new season with a new look and a new smile on your face. A little me time goes a long way at Kildare Village, where there's something extraordinary every day.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
But yeah, but the tainted draft pool ice.
I just think a lot of people just don't want to deal with the FBI, and they don't want that on their, they don't want that in their clubhouse.
You're saying the top 5 guys are worth the heat after that? We're not taking the heat.
They start looking elsewhere. But the people they're finding elsewhere are fucking huge.
I say Zion Williamson will make us our fine money back. Some of these other guys will not.
Right. RJ Barrett will make their fine money back. And, beyond that, people are like, look.
Let's let the heat die down. Maybe we'll call you next season.
It was very awkward to watch that draft. I'm like, all these kids are sitting in this room waiting for their name to be called. Kids that we watched during March Madness, and they're like, anytime now. Anytime. Today.
Oh, shit. You mean I got to go to class next semester?
Right. Little fell all the way to the bottom end of the first round out of UNC. He should have been at least top 15.
Yeah, but free agency's just starting. I'm sure there'll be a lot of guys who'll wash out. A lot of guys will get phone calls for tryouts. Yeah, but initially, maybe we're not taking a lot of the risks that we used to.
Team looks outside. Anybody see the FBI sitting out there anymore?
Is that unmarked white van still out there? No. Would you like a tryout?
How come when I go to connect to the Wi-Fi, it says not an FBI surveillance van?
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, should we really be shocked, though, that the NBA is pulling from the pool of European players? I mean, this isn't like a new thing. We've had 2 generations of players have their careers start and finish since the first Dream Team.
Yeah, remember the first ballot Hall of Famer, Darko Milicic? Never mind. But yeah, we're probably a couple, maybe even a third generation coming into here of the foreign players, the European players coming into the NBA.
I mean, I know a lot of people forget this, but Tony Parker is from France.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's not from...
not from South Carolina.
No.
Yeah, Porzingis, however the hell you say his first name.
The Greek freak.
Not from Harlem, yeah.
I mean, so that in and of itself doesn't shock me. I guess the amount going over American players is that's the shocking part. But I don't know. I kept hearing, not that I dove head first into the NBA draft coverage, but I kept hearing red flags. There's red flags. This player has red flags. This player has red flags. But no one ever really expanded on that. He just kept saying, this guy had red flags, that's why he fell in the draft. And this guy had red flags, that's why he got passed up at this spot. And all I'm thinking is, if you know some information, fucking say it.
Is it off the court shit? Is it red flags that could wearing ISIS tinfoil suit? That could be everything ISIS is talking about. yeah, there's going to be some shit coming up with this guy. We don't even want to be anywhere near him when it hits the fan.
Or it could be, he's not a good locker room guy. He has a poor work ethic. He doesn't work out in the off season like a team thinks he should. You never know. But I guess, what can we expect from a league who has a commissioner that is suggesting that they stop using the term owner for owners of the teams?
So what are they supposed to be called?
Job creators? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know, man. I just know that I think it was your boy LeBron tweeted out something about owners makes it sound like a plantation situation or something along those lines, and of course the Twitter sphere had to run with that. What? Yeah. How dare you call them what they are? Well, they own the franchise. What are we supposed to? What are you supposed to fucking call them,
sir?
I understand. Maybe players not saying oh, my owner, the owner. Fine, okay, great, wonderful. But to just to suggest that the league will move away from using the term owner, like this policing of language and applying a handful of people's interpretation of a word and letting them dictate whether we can use it or not is really getting out of hand.
So we stop calling them owners. What's fixed?
Yeah, right.
What's changed? What problematic issue in our culture have we fixed?
None.
Yeah, but we made some people feel we activated the feels in some people on the internet.
Yeah, they got some warm and fuzzies instead of some cold and pricklies.
Cool. It's.
You know what? I look back at them and say, "Fuck you, freedom of speech." They own the team. That's it. They're owners.
No, you got more than 7 zeros in your net worth. It's worth a sir to me. I'll call you sir. I'll call you mister.
What are these people calling each other that own cars or houses?
Yeah, how long until the master and slave cylinder in the fucking car is deemed inappropriate?
Oh, you guys must not deal with some of the same people I deal with or run in the same circles or hear some of the same shit. But
batten down the hatches, Ice. We're probably about to hear some shit that's going to blow our minds.
There are a group, there is a small portion of animal rights activists who do not refer to their pets as their pets. They're my companions, and I'm their caretaker because I don't own my pets.
Yeah, you do. Did you pay money for it? If you bought your dog, you own your dog.
Well, their
what was this?
way of looking at it is you don't own your child.
Till you're 18.
Your child.
On paper, you do till you're 18, technically. You speak for him. You act for him. You make all the decisions.
These are gears I can't switch to. I'm just saying. I can't switch the gears like that.
What do you use, D&D language? It's my familiar. Make sure my familiar has food and water.
I guess since we've kind of cracked the door open on the politics and sports shit a little bit, we might as well just fucking throw the motherfucker wide open. I don't think you watched Bill Maher, Ice, but Chris, did you watch Bill Maher last Friday?
No.
Okay. Well, he had a doctor on who left the academic world because she couldn't deal with the fact that scientific fact was being pushed aside for people's feelings, et cetera, especially with the trans issue. And do you know who Dan Savage is?
Yes.
Okay, he was on. And she was the mid-show guest. Dan Savage was on the panel. And Bill Maher brought up to her, he's like, how do you feel about trans females, so male to female, trans athletes competing against biological females? And she said, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's cheating.
She said, I'm a fan of MMA, and when I see a trans female fighting a biological female, you're basically watching a domestic violence situation. You're watching someone beat a man beat a woman.
Did Dan Savage clutch his pearls and get on his soapbox?
Shockingly, he agreed to an extent that had my jaw hanging open.
Where'd you go? Especially, you're Dan Savage, right?
Especially about, because one of the things she brought up was hormone therapy and starting the physical process of transitioning and surgeries and stuff. She's like, it is absolutely ridiculous to have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds and giving them hormones that their bodies aren't going to produce for maybe years to come, depending on their age. And on top of that, these are children. If you have an 8-year-old who's a boy and goes, Ma, Dad, I was born in the wrong body, I'm a female, and you start giving them hormones, one of the side effects of these hormones is shrinking of the genitalia. So what happens if this kid grows up and just goes, oh, you know what, I'm not trans, I'm just gay. Well, now you're gay with a small dick. Have fun in that fucking world. And yeah, Dan Savage actually agreed with her on that. He told the story of his son. He goes, my son is aggressively straight. And at one point when he was younger, he told me and my husband, I think I'm gay. And he looked at his son and he goes, well, I mean, if you think you're gay, okay, but why don't you wait? Give it a couple years here. You're still in single digits, kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like Todd has talked about. An irresponsible parent would take it and run with it. Dan Savage shocked me by sounding like a intelligent parent and on this subject and going, your little nuts hadn't even dropped yet. So why don't you wait and see who will get you hard before you start declaring what you are just because you have 2 daddies. Yeah,
my stance on it has always been, don't fuck with your body until you're done cooking, for lack of a better way to put it. When everything's done, go nuts. But until you're done developing, don't fuck with it.
But this is an issue that is being thrust into the forefront of high school and like track and field, shit like that, where you have trans women competing with biological women and blowing their doors off. And the athletes, this doctor said something very interesting, at least to me. She said the athletes behind the scenes are livid about this, but they're afraid to say anything because they don't want to be labeled as transphobic, because that's the kiss of death these days. Being labeled as anything, but I accept everybody for what they are unless you are a Republican or lean to the right, then I don't accept you whatsoever, because having tolerance of intolerance is stupid.
You know what fixes? Intergender athletics. We just go nuts. We take down all the fucking barriers. I bet you within 5 years we're changing our mind.
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I saw the NHL's really dove in head first with Pride Month, and I think they're really pushing for to expand and try to get that that gay dollar, which is that's a good market these days.
That pink puck dollar.
And they had a couple trans men they made a video of, and you see these two, and they're just skating around on the ice, talking to each other, sounding like if they sound like males, they sound like 5-year-old males. They have no bass in their voice, and you're like, okay, well, maybe they got skills, maybe they can play. And then an average size NHL player skates out onto the ice, and you realize just how tiny these two are. And you go, oh, you will get fucking murdered playing with Olympic, let alone NHL or KHL level players. Like, seriously, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to exaggerate, but they better be the toughest sons of bitches that ever fucking walked the face of the earth. Because if not, I don't think they're going to last the whole season. And it's just like, look, do you not see the difference here?
We start slow. We merge the WA and the NBA.
Well, I mean, and that just comes to, do you guys know who Derek Dietrich is?
No.
The baseball player, isn't he?
Baseball for the Reds. The cat can hit. He can flat out hit. and he's been thrown at more in a month than like Barry Bonds has in a season. It's exaggerated, but it's a lot. So what happens if you get a woman that makes the transition and she comes into the major leagues and she can hit and people start throwing at her?
Hey, you want to play with the boys? You play with the boys' rules. I'm saying intergender. It's a grand social experiment. All levels, high school, college, pros. I bet you within 5 years we are radically changing our minds and going, whoa, bad idea. Perhaps.
Everybody who's involved except for the kid that changes their gender is against it. They really are. We've talked about this already with kids in Texas, kids in Oregon, boys becoming women, women becoming boys.
We go to a few funerals. We see a few people become paraplegics. Perhaps we rethink this.
Well, the boy that became a female to wrestle and just dominated the wrestling circuit. I mean, people were like, seriously? They said he threw my daughter around and she just kept throwing him. I was like, okay. Freudian slip there, sir.
Hey, but we're woke.
And I was talking to Todd about this, and Todd's take on it is like, look, I have no problem with a trans male trying to play with biological males. I have a problem with a trans female trying to play with biological females, because especially in contact sports, because that's just an unfair advantage.
In many ways.
If you think about it, in the Olympics for decades now, and in cycling for decades now, in baseball for decades now, they've cracked down on steroid use and HGH use. What the fuck are these fucking trans athletes you doing? Do you not think they're on hormone therapy? Do you not think they're getting fucking, if you're going from male to female or female to male, that you're not getting fucking testosterone, steroid? Yeah. So what the fuck? I mean, you can't even uphold the rules that are on the book to expand to this. And it's just, I'm with you, Chris. I said it a couple months ago on the show. Let them fucking play. And when the field's littered with fucking injured people and paralyzed people, then you know what? Hey, is this still a good idea?
Have the Rockford Peaches versus the New York Yankees. It'll be 95-7.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I have a friend. I met her. She's from here in middle of Kansas. She's a Harlem Globetrotter.
Ooh, you've been waiting to do that, haven't you?
I have. I've asked her on the show. She's been very busy. She will be on the show at some point. But I talked to her about this very thing because she plays on a guy's team against other guys. You could say it's scripted, it's fake, it's whatever. But I am 100% here to tell you this is not a joke. That woman has more skills than just about any damn kid, boy, man on a basketball court you've ever seen. It is amazing to watch her with a basketball. But here's the thing, okay? She is the 17th female to be on the Harlem Globetrotters. And she's not trying to be a guy on the Harlem Globetrotters. She is who she is. And she makes it very well known who she is. But the irony is, and it's not really ironic so much as it is just sometimes you get females that really can compete.
Not hard spotter either, by the way. You showed the poster.
And she's a very clear case. You can look her up online. Her name's Mighty Mortimer. She's just amazing with the basketball. But to transition from that, there's a lot of people. I would gather to say, taking a tennis ball from Serena Williams is just as bad, if not worse, than Roger Federer. So every so often you have people of different genders that have the same quality.
Then let's go. Let's see it. Let's play it. Let's see Serena and Roger this summer.
No, I'm telling you, dude, that would be a fucking badass match. Before she had the kids.
Battle of the sexes, 50 years later. Let's go.
What about China? Again, WWE or wrestling or whatever you want to call it, it's fake and everything, But that chick hung with the men in that ring, picking people up, slamming them, getting slammed. And she never claimed to be a man. She's just huge.
Here's the thing. When we're talking world-class athletes, we're talking like what? Sub 1% of the entire world can do what they do?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm not taking away from anybody what skills they have, but look, have I met women who I think could have played, if they put the time and work in, could have played high school football with men? I'm not talking a kicker either. I'm talking fucking linebackers and shit. Yeah, I've met them. All right. But then you start going to the college level, then you go to the pro level, and there's a huge drop-off of players who are good enough to do that. And a large part of it is size. Every level you go up, those motherfuckers get bigger. I mean, I remember the story Jeff Saturday said. He started as a center in high school, and he was the biggest guy on the offensive line. By the time he made it to the fucking pros, he was the smallest center in the NFL. But he was considered a beast when he was in high school. So, I mean, look, you want to play, you're good enough to play, and someone will give you a contract, more power to you. But just understand, the nature of the game cannot change just so you can play. You have to meet the demands of the game. The demands of the game will not be lowered to meet your ability.
You are not LeBron James. You don't get your own rules. Oh, you see what I did there, Ice? That's for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I saw that.
But it does play into what Rich is saying. It's no set asides here, kids. You gonna play? You're gonna play. No bending the rules.
Talking to Todd.
I look at I honestly, and this is just my personal opinion. I look at a transgendered athlete as quite literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. I cannot see it any other way. If you take a man and put him in a woman's sport, I don't care what you dress him in. I don't care what he brings and doesn't bring on his body. That man was made differently than those women.
Well, one of the most interesting Joe Rogan podcasts that I've listened to, he had on a trans man who goes by the name Buck Angel. And when you see pictures of this guy,
yep,
you think you're looking at a big, Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket 2-liter drinking motherfucker who's just huge and ripped. And then you see him stand next to Joe Rogan, who stands all of 5'8", and the guy is tiny. And you realize he still has a woman's frame. He still has a woman's skeletal structure. He's not all that fucking big. I don't care how much muscle he's got on him. You put him in there with some of these fucking monsters that are in MMA. Put him up against fucking Joe Rogan, who's over 50, I think now, and let's see how he fares in just a good old Brazilian jiu-jitsu match. I'm not talking like beating on each other and shit like they do in the octagon. I'm talking just a grappling match. Now, granted, I don't know if Buck Angel trains with that shit, but I'm saying even if he did. There's differences, and it's just that isn't hate. That's not
stand him next to The Rock.
It's not hate. It's not transphobia. That is reality.
No, most definitely. If he went in there against Tank Abbott, Kimbo Slice,
Stone Cold.
The guy that wrestles with Stone Cold. What's his name?
I don't care. I like Stone Cold.
The Beast. No, the MMA fighter.
I don't know. What in our history has indicated to you that I watched MMA?
Brock Lesnar.
All right.
He's an MMA fighter. Yeah. Brock Lesnar would turn around and fart and knock out, Buck Angel.
What about the Big Show? Look tiny next to the Big Show.
We're just naming huge wrestlers. What about Diesel? Big Sexy.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you want to go with wrestlers, like I was saying with China, she stood toe-to-toe with those guys. But, however, so did Nicole Bass. There are some big, mean women.
But you're talking about the exceptions. We're talking about the rule.
I absolutely am. I am absolutely talking about the exceptions, because there are. But you cannot force yourself to try to be that exception. Either you are or you're not.
You're either a specimen or you're not. Welcome. Hey, ladies, welcome to Being Sports. If you're a guy, you're either a specimen or you're not. You're talking to 3 dudes who talk about sports. All right? We have already had that realization. We are not a specimen. And you want to play with the men? Welcome.
And see, that's another thing that kind of I have going in the back of my mind about this entire situation. How long until this shit turns into, I didn't make the team. It's because I'm a trans athlete. It's not because of my ability. So now I'm going to sue.
It's very easy.
We're past the point of helicopter parents. What is the term you use, Chris? Was it lawnmower parents? They just run over everything?
Lawnmower parents, because they mow down adversity. It's not me. It's someone else, but it's what I read.
Well, no, I mean,
but it's just the easy way of them saying, I didn't fail. They have a phobia.
It couldn't possibly be me. It had to be other people. It's their fault.
I mean, and it permeates our society now to where personal responsibility has somehow been connected to like hardcore right-wing fascist whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, personal responsibility is called being an adult. Going, I fucked up, my bad, I'll do better next time, all right? I mean, something, and this isn't really sports related, but I've seen it in sports as well. It's bled over into sports, but it's really been around now for going on probably a decade in Hollywood. All right, and it's starting to bleed over into sports, and it's really irritating because sports is very black and white. It's one of the few things in life that is black and white. There is a winner, there is a loser. You either win the last game of the season and hold up the championship trophy, or you go home and make a tea time. That's all there is to it. There's no ribbons for second place.
And first or last.
And it damn sure ain't no 32nd place ribbons. Okay, that's you get a high draft pick. There you go. There's your consolation prize. All right.
There's your participation award.
But it's this attitude of if something that someone does fails, it's not their fault. It has to be toxic something or another. Whether it's a toxic fan base, toxic masculinity, toxic whatever the fuck. And it's gotten old, man. And I mean, like I was listening to a podcast with the director of the new X-Men movie. Now, this X-Men movie is a fucking flop by anybody's definition of the word. It is had the lowest grossing gross opening worldwide of any X-Men movie anywhere. It's getting panned by critics. People who have seen the movie are fucking going, that was a waste of my time and money. And you know what the director did? He came out and said, yeah, I was the director, writer, and producer. The blame falls on me. And you could have knocked me over with a feather, because you never hear that anymore. You hear, oh, it's because these man babies can't handle strong women in a movie, or, people have superhero fatigue, even though the Avengers movies, are making more money than fucking God. And like I said, when it starts to bleed over into sports, you get this, it comes off as crybaby-ish. I mean, we've all seen it. Athletes just blaming everybody but themselves. And it used to be if you did that, you were a pariah in the sport.
Yeah, you were a crybaby.
Barry Bonds, if he didn't fucking start juicing and hitting home runs like he did, I don't think the Giants would have put up with him for as long as they did. Because that motherfucker pointed the finger at everybody but himself at the failure for that team.
At some point, you got to take ownership.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, and in a roundabout way, LeBron is that way too. If something's not working out, I want a new head coach. Here's a list of players I need you to get. That's essentially a passive aggressive way of saying everybody else is fucking up. I'm the only one that's doing well. It's never I need to step up. I need to be the example to everybody in this organization. I don't give a shit what your title is. That's why I was brought here. That's what I need to do.
Sporgy. ChristopherMedia.net.
Adventure is calling in 53 degrees north. Ireland's largest outdoor adventure clothing retailer, with everything needed to get outdoors in every weather, for every activity, for every adventure this summer. And in-store expert advice to get you started, with everything from wetsuits and kayaks to tents and hiking boots. Visit us in store in Blanchardstown and Carrickmines or online to get set for adventure.
SuperValu online shopping delivers convenience. And now with €15 off your first online shop over €75, we deliver value too. Or with our free click and collect service, you can pick it up in store, packed and ready to go. Shop online now at supervalu.ie. It's got to be SuperValu.
At DBS, you can study in Dublin city centre or online. Choose from over 100 industry-led programmes. Programmes designed to fit your life now and help you create your future. Realise your ambitions. Apply for a full or part-time course today at dbs.ie.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
Yeah, back in the day, even Mike Jordan. Well, I had the flu, and I gave it my best, and my teammates pulled me through.
Mike, what? You got him on speed dial?
I do. It's under MJ.
Send you a T-shirt for your birthday?
Yeah. I have the number 23 carved in my front door. It's autographed.
You know, and I gotta kind of, I kind of wonder if it's, because I'm thinking of like Sidney Crosby. Crosby used to cry all the time. He's smart. He smartened up. I've given him credit for this on the show before, and he's let other people do his dirty work for him. He's got to the point where he understands, just keep my mouth shut, play the humble role, and my fucking legacy will be cemented. But if I'm running around here diving and crying and pissing and moaning like a little 2-year-old with a skinned knee about everything, that's going to be how people start to remember me. But the fact is, he's done his fair share of finger pointing. Look at a player like Alex Ovechkin. I mean, second round, running into the Penguins every year in the playoffs and getting bounced by them. Do you ever remember hearing interviews with the man saying, it's all my team's fault, it's my head coach's fault, we need to get a new head coach, we need to get new teammates?
Hell no.
No, he just keeps putting up 50-goal season after 50-goal season until he goes out there and wins himself a cup, which is how you're supposed to fucking do it.
Hey, Rich, what about one of my favorite topics? Fan gets hit by a ball, it's the net's fault. It's the baseball player's fault. It's the ball's fault.
Yeah, that just happened. Player hit a kid hit a ball, hit a kid in the stands.
Yeah, now they're talking about Ballinger.
Now they're talking about extending the netting at ballparks because one kid got hit. Well, how about this? If you know your kid is going to be nose in their phone, finger fucking it, instead of paying attention to the game, maybe don't buy fucking seats right by the goddamn fucking area where foul balls fly into the stands.
Number one, read the back of your ticket. That's covered in the waiver on the back of there. Number two, it's this new attitude of one child getting hurt is too many. No, sometimes it's going to happen. What's the term? There's a term. I forget. I don't know. Like shrinkage. There's going to be some shrinkage with humanity, maybe.
You mean? Are you thinking attrition?
Yes, attrition.
We're going to lose a certain amount of people, no matter how much we nerf the world.
For every 99 that make it, there's going to be one that didn't, and you're just going to that part of nature.
It's just so. It's sad, dude. It's so sad because I was thinking of how funny it was. But if somebody breaks into these people's houses, they have a pad under the window. They're going to have, Nerf windows, so if it shatters, it don't cut them.
Ooh, Nerf glass TM. Ice just thought of it.
In other words, you're gonna have a survey on the way out, so the robber can. So, how was your experience robbing my house? Give me your suggestions to how we can make your next felony a little easier for you.
Yes. How can I make this easier next time for you? Well, I mean, you start by just leave it unlocked. If I just come in the front door, that'd be the best way.
Well, if you don't lock the door, then they won't have to break in. See, you're making them turn into a criminal by locking your doors and your windows.
Yeah, what are you thinking, Chris?
Hi, my name is Jim. I have a 1045 B&E. Make an appointment. There's an app for it.
Oh, God.
Hey, now what with the white guy name, everybody, just so you know.
But yeah, that's, I don't know.
And if you get carjacked, it's your fault. If you don't curb the wheel, park and turn off the engine.
If you get carjacked, it's your fault. Foot. You keep going. Get out of the car. No. Like, I've never understood that. I guess you got a gun in your face. Things are a little different, but they're on foot. You're not. I'll take the chance.
Fucking criminal gets hurt.
I'll bob and
shit. The cops pull you over, arrest you.
I'll bob and weave. I'll drive in a serpentine motion. Hope I just get grazed.
There was a movie about Nothing to Lose with Martin Lawrence, Tim Robbins. Yeah. Martin Lawrence gets in to carjack Tim Robbins, and Tim Robbins is like, "You picked the wrong day, motherfucker."
Man, did you pick the wrong day?
I've said that, man.
That was such a funny movie. Motherfucker, Helen Keller, are you looking at me? I got a gun.
Let me tell you a quick story. So, I had to run an errand for work, and this was years ago, a place I used to work. And this guy come up to me, and he goes, "Hey, man, are you on the clock?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, he obviously saw my uniform. He goes, do you happen to work at the shop over at this intersection? I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, and we were, I don't know, about 4 or 5 miles from that intersection. He's like, "Dude, my car broke down. They're telling me that they're backed up and blah, 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 blah. And I got to get home." He's like, I left my wallet in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, just all this crazy shit. And I'm like, "So what you're saying is you're asking me for a ride?" And he's like, "Uh-huh." And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever. Get in." So he gets in, and I go to drop him off. He goes to get out the back of the car, and he's like, "Door won't open." I was like, "Child locks are on." He's like, "Window won't go down." I'm like, "It's because I got the windows locked." And he's like, "Well, damn, what if I'd have tried to carjack you?" I said, You'd have been fucked up. Because I'd have just stomped on the gas and been like, "I can head into a brick wall. I got my seatbelt on and an airbag. How you think you're going to fare? You're going through the fucking windshield, homeboy."
Yeah.
And you can't get out. You done fucked up.
So yeah, I wasn't worried about it. And he just started laughing. He's like, "So I guess if I'd have pulled a gun, I'd have been messing with the wrong white boy." I'm like, pretty much. I don't know what else to tell you. But he was cool. He's like, "Well, okay, well, hang here for a sec." He came, went into his apartment and came out, and he's like, gave me $5 for gas. He's like, "I appreciate it. Most people wouldn't have done it." I'm like, "Dude, I've been there."
Wow.
I'm like, "I've been there. And I got a pretty good fucking threat detector, and I detected no threat from him. He seemed like a very frustrated guy who just didn't want to fucking hang out in front of a GFS for fucking 4 hours to wait for a tow truck to show up.
It's on the eyes.
Straight. You got a great threat detector. You detected no threat, but yet this motherfucker had to sit in the back seat with the windows locked and the door locked.
Well, that's because I had shit in the front seat.
I'd
loaded up. Dude, I went to Gordon Food Service. I was working a job where I had to handle food. I had stacked the front seat with boxes of shit I had to go get. I wasn't about to move it to the back seat so we can get into the front seat.
Yeah.
I told him, I'm like, besides, people are just going to think you're fucking taking an Uber or something. And he was like, "Well, it's true." And if I'd have known him, if I'd have knew the guy, or if I'd have picked up that the guy had a sense of humor, it'd have been like, it's like kind of like the reverse of driving Miss Daisy.
Right.
Look at it this way. You got a white boy chauffeur and you're around.
Means you made it.
We are so off track.
Yeah, so sports? Well, then
made it all the way to Miss Daisy, goddammit.
I just want to wrap up I know that we talk about the trans issue in sports quite a bit, but here's the thing that I'm seeing. It's being thrust into the sports consciousness. Like, I'm saying, probably at least twice a month, there's some article that ESPN or Fox Sports or, so, Deadspin, somebody puts out about a trans athlete either dominating or getting their ass whooped, depending on, how they transition and who they're competing against. And the solution, it seems to be, in a lot of people's minds, just don't do anything about it. And I'm absolutely with you, Chris. Until the first person gets really fucked up and hurt, like permanently fucked up, or worse, dead, everybody's just gonna turn a blind eye to it because, we don't want to offend anybody.
Do you want it? You got it. Mixed teams, same gender teams, fuck it. Do it. Men's teams against women's teams, or just men and women ball playing on the same team. Fuck it. I bet you within five. I'll give us a little woke curve. Within a decade, we'll probably go, let's maybe go back to men playing men and women playing women.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have a buddy. He plays in 2 softball leagues. One is an all-male team. The other is a co-ed team. And when he's playing the co-ed team, there are so many special rules as to how to handle the women on the team.
Nope, no special rules. That's my rule. No special rules.
Exactly. I'm like, so you're not even playing real softball. Like, one of the rules is don't hit it back to the pitcher if you have a female pitching.
My question is, how the fuck do you control that?
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose if you're a good enough batter, you can fucking sit back in the ball, let it get a little deeper into the strike zone, send it opposite field. If you know you need to hit it down.
And if you're on the other end of a 6-pack and you're just there for the dog and the beer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with Ice.
I'm asking you because this has happened to me.
No,
I've been at a softball game where everybody's like, all right, right back to the pitcher, right back to the pitcher. She pitched the ball, wham! Smacked her right in the nose, sat her ass on the ground. She was fine. She pulled her hand away from her face, blood. The most blood-curdling scream I ever heard.
Welcome to the game. I'm just saying.
Apparently, there's been a few altercations with other teams because my buddy, this was last season. I don't know about this season. Last season, one of their pitchers was a female, and they felt that this team was purposely hitting balls right up at the middle at her, hitting line drives in her direction. So, a couple of the white knights stood up and said, "Hey, I don't think so. You don't treat women that way," and
get her off the mound. Get her out of the way of the ball. I agree. Don't treat her that way.
Get off the goddamn mound.
And I mean, I
behind like 3 people.
I would really love to ask a female professional athlete if that type of shit pisses them off or not. Because if I was a female athlete and I was playing a sport where I'm competing against men, I wouldn't want the bar lowered for me. I want to have the same playing field as the guys I'm playing with. That way, when I whoop their ass, there's no excuse they can give.
Here's the thing. I'm going to reference my Globetrotter one more time. I asked her that very question. And when she comes on, we'll talk to her about this. But does she feel that it needs to be brought down a notch because she's female? And she goes, no. I love the expectation that everybody sees, first of all, a white female on the Harlem Globetrotters and thinks this is some gimmick. And then when she just makes them look absolutely stupid, she can see it in the people's faces around the court.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's because she's a competitor. She has that competitive fire in her.
Right.
And no competitor wants the fucking bar to be lowered just so they can play, because then you know how you said at the beginning of the show, asterisk? Then you are putting an asterisk by it. And I mean, I just think back to an old Eddie Griffin comedy bit, and he was like, have you heard this news? This is, of course, 25 years ago, so it was new 25 years ago. He was like, have you heard this new shit they're trying to pimp on our kids called Ebonics, calling it an African dialect? He's like, we all learn to speak English. Why the fuck can't our kids? What they're doing is they're telling us we're too stupid to speak fucking English. Fuck them. And I was like, yeah. If someone come up to me and was like, oh, Rich, yeah, you really suck at this, so we're going to go ahead and make a special set of rules for you. Like if we went bowling and you put the gutter bumpers out every time I come up, I'd be like, get them motherfuckers out. If I throw a gutter ball, I throw a gutter ball. So what? That's the game. Don't fucking try to change the rules of the game. I'm gonna have look. it's not like if I'm bowling, it's because I am really bored. I got nothing else to do, and I'm probably drinking. So I'm going to be having fun about 7-8 beers in anyway. So
my stupid fat ass was told that she was a Globetrotter or proved that she was a Globetrotter, and I still went and tried to get the ball from her. I do not recommend it.
Well, that's the Y chromosome in you.
It was. I think so. But I'll tell you this. She made me look way stupid.
You're telling me the Iceman, who I've known for a quarter of a fucking century, who used to meet people and go, hey, my name's Fitz. Want to arm wrestle? That was your opening line to every guy you ever fucking met. You're telling me that you're super ultra competitive? Yeah, no, shocking. Jeez,
I used to run a place steak.
I'll tell you this. She literally dribbled circles around me. I don't know. She went the ball through my legs and did a whole bunch of other shit. I never once touched the ball. And I promise you, as I sit here today, I was absolutely trying to at least touch the ball one time. Because I'm talking, you've got to look her up, dude. She's all of like 5'7". I'm 6'3". I weigh 398. I just got weighed today. She maybe weighs $120, maybe. I'm like, okay, I understand she's got tricks and shit, but my eye on the ball, I'm going to touch that motherfucker. No, I didn't. No, the hell I didn't.
Did she hit you with a crossover so bad you had to staple your shoes on?
Yeah, dude, she crossed me over.
Made your knees knock.
Back. She dribbled behind her back with her fucking knees bent, and I'm like, I'll slap her ass. I don't care. Give me the ball. And as soon as I went for it, she was gone. Dude, I felt worse than the Washington Generals because that shit was made to look that way. I was out there looking that way.
No, man, it's
an accident.
That's how it is. My dad was in the Knights of Columbus back in the day when the Knights of Columbus was a thing, and he did the clown corps. Don't ask me why. I don't know. And these are questions I didn't ask when I was a kid. Like, whatever. It's the 70s. People did weird shit. But they got to go once a year. Go and fuck around on the field during a Tigers game. And he said just they were fucking around. I think it was either pregame or between innings or something. And he stepped up to the plate, and pitcher was warming up or whatever. And he stepped up to the plate. It was like, throw me one. He said he never even fucking saw it. And he was pretty sure the guy was trying to serve him up a meatball so he could hit it too. Never even saw it.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. I turned around, my wife was sitting behind me at the bar, and I'm thinking, I gotta tuck tail and go back with my wife, and this little white girl just beat the shit out of me. She's dying laughing. I got a video of it. You're an idiot.
Why? Well, here's the thing.
We told you she was professional.
Why? Okay. Your days of being an athlete reside 2 decades ago. Okay?
Yeah. I wanted to play with a Globetrotter one time. That's all that was. But I honest to God, Rich, I swear to God, I thought I would at least touch the ball one time. I never touched the ball. We were out there doing it for a good 5-10 minutes. I came back sweaty, huffing and puffing. My wife's laughing her ass off like, are you all right? And this little girl comes up and goes, hey, thanks, man. Signs the ball
for me. It's like, sure you guys just play basketball?
Well, she played basketball. I don't know what he was doing.
I was playing with myself at the most part, and it was fun, and then at the same time afterwards, it was like, I don't believe I fucking did that.
It's great, though, because we have a mutual friend who looks like Kirk Gibson, how Kirk Gibson looks now, but he looked that way 10 years ago. You know what I'm talking about? Our bald friend. Yeah. Mr. Harry Back. That's a nice sweater. Does it come in V-neck? That type thing. He talks all types of shit when you start talking sports. We went to a Tigers-Yankees game. Roger Clemens was on the mound. This is Roger Clemens in the early 2000s, okay? So, I mean, he ain't up there throwing the heat that he did when he was young. And he's watching him take the mound for warm-up. And if you know anything about baseball, they warm up in the bullpen, they come out, and they start throwing pitches. Well, he looks at a couple pitches, and he's like, I could hit him. I don't see anything special about that. I'm like, dude, you're retarded. You You couldn't hit him if you took a fucking fishing net up there. He couldn't make contact with that fucking ball. If you took a fucking boat oar up there, you couldn't make contact with that ball. I don't give a fuck. And he's like, no, yeah, I could. All right. So the game starts, and he starts seeing Clemens pitching for real. About 4 pitches in, he turns, looks at me, and goes, yeah, you're right, I couldn't hit him. I'm like, that's what I fucking thought. Because we were right on the third base. I mean, we were like 1 row back from the front row on the third baseline. So we were getting a very good look at just how much fucking velocity he was coming up with off that mound. And it was the same thing when Joey Harrington was the quarterback for the Lions. He's like, I'd beat the shit out of Joey Harrington. I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
So this guy's just that asshole. We all got that friend who's that asshole. This guy is him for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I tried to tell him, I'm like, you wouldn't beat the shit out of Joey Harrington's a pussy. I'd whoop his ass. I'm like, Joey Harrington's a professional athlete who has worked out every day of his life since he was in fucking grade school. You are a dude sitting here 4 hours into a Coke bender. Okay? You ain't beating shit. All right? You'd have a heart attack. The dude's athleticism would make sure you ain't beating his ass. I mean, go ahead, I'm sorry.
You mentioned my competitiveness, and you're right. But even at the height of my athleticism in football, I was just a monstrous beast. You did not want to be hit by me. And then I look online and see people like Nate Newton benching 700 pounds. Like, I wasn't shit. I was nothing.
Reminds me of my buddy who played hockey for Catholic Central, and he went out and he got a scholarship to go to Western, play hockey for them. And I was like, so what was it like the first time, you took the ice for Western? He's like, I realized, I was a big fish in a little pond at Catholic Central.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Now I'm an undersized fish in a fucking huge fucking ocean.
My freshman, sophomore year in college, I was delivering pizzas for Hungry Howie's. And I was out there in Rochester with all the Lions. And Luther Ellis, you can look him up. Him big motherfucker. I got a call to deliver to his house. So when I got there, his wife answered the door. I was like, yeah, here's all this, change, thank you. Excuse me, do you mind? Is Luther home? Oh, yeah, Luther. Dude, this shadow darkened the hallway before he ever got. And it's a big, just like meeting room. And it just darkened it. And he looks over, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? I was like, and I had to look up to him. I'm 6'3",
It's like that scene in Jurassic Park. You see the water, like, shaking.
The water move. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. And he shook my hand, and it disappeared, man. I have humongous hands, huge hands. And it disappeared, and I'm like, nice to meet you, sir. I just wanted to say I'm a fan. Thank you. You guys enjoy your dinner. Holy fuck. I'm like,
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, man. You get, what is it? 4% of the entire population of the planet that are men are over 6'1". So you start getting to like 6'5", 6'6". You're talking points of a percentage.
Yeah, and he's like 6'8". Luther Ellis was enormous.
This is like rare air. Like, holy shit. I know that childbirth hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what. Like, look, I have nothing against co-ed sports up to an extent. Like, if it's a fun league or whatever, maybe a non-checking league or something. But you start getting into like where people are doing it and they're trying to make a career out of it. And they're giving it their 100%. Maybe there'll be that like one exception every couple fucking generations. But I mean, it ain't every chick out there that's going to just jump in with the guys and start fucking, playing full contact hockey and hold her own. It's just not going to happen.
Right. Luther was 6'6", 318 pounds.
Yeah, he could probably run a 4.6 40.
That's what I'm saying. He was the 20th pick in the first round back in 95. Guy was god-awful.
That's a big dude. Man.
That's what I'm saying. You got size, power, speed. I mean, forget the fact that he played professional football, and there's 250 some players. No, there's more than that. How many players? We figured this out one time. How many players are in the NFL? 32 teams, 53 players.
Stand by.
It's like 1,600 and some change.
1696
out of 7 billion people in the world. Yeah. Just think about this. So if you're a guy, even if you have size and speed and power and athleticism, it's still higher odds than hitting the lottery 3 times in a row. So, I mean,
0.000024% of the population. So 2 10,000ths of a percent.
Good times. Yeah.
Sporgy. ChristopherMedia.net.
At DBS, you can study in Dublin City Centre or online. Choose from over 100 industry-led programs. Programs designed to fit your life now and help you create your future. Realise your ambitions. Apply for a full or part-time course today at dbs.ie.
SuperValue online shopping delivers convenience. And now with €15 off your first online shop over €75, we deliver value too. Order before 12 noon and you can get your shopping delivered the very same day. Shop online now at supervalue.ie. It's got to be SuperValue.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
All right, wasn't there a Detroit Tigers issue you wanted to get to, Rich, before you wrap things up?
Hey, there you go. I sent you guys this picture.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you're wondering, that's Sean Rogers next to him.
So, obviously the Tigers are going through a quote-unquote rebuild.
Is that what we're calling it? I'm calling it a fucking disaster. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it pretty much is. And they're one player that people have been saying, look, if you're going to go through a rebuild, why are we holding on to this guy? It's been Nick Castellanos. And here's basically my amateur scouting report on the guy. He's a streaky hitter who is an absolute liability in the field wherever you put him. He was drafted as a shortstop. They moved him to third base. They tried him in the outfield. He was a fucking walking disaster area out there. I think they've asked him to go to first base, and he said no. And so basically they're like, well, then what are we going to do with you? Miggy's our DH at this point. What are we going to do with you? And so he was asked in an interview about signing a contract extension, and he let it all hang out. And if what he said is factual, I think the Tigers are in for a really rough road for the foreseeable future. One, Alex Avila, the GM, apparently was trying to shop him around for a trade last year, and there were no takers. And so he said that shit to the press, which for a guy in the last year of his contract, that you don't do that. Because if you know you're not going to, because that's what the thing was. That basically they're not going to re-sign him. And he was pissed because he's like, now why would you fucking throw me under the bus and not re-sign me? Now,
because they're tired of you, son.
You're fucking done, son.
They don't think you are worth the investment. Is essentially what they're kind of saying to you, buddy.
Yeah, and here I'm looking up the looking up his stats here. All right, so far this season he's played 71 games. He's hitting .269. He's got a .328 on base percentage. 7 home runs, 26 RBIs. And, I mean, essentially, he's, like I said, he's a liability in the field. So, excuse me. I don't know. To me, this goes back to what we talked about with Todd. I asked Todd, I said, do you have faith in Alex Avila as far as the Tigers GM? And he said, yes. And he was basically basing that on the Verlander trade and I believe the draft from, last year's draft. He said he liked the moves that he's made. But this is just not a good look, because if you're trying to rebuild a team, do you really want a general manager who's going to throw players under the bus and basically cut them off at the knees? Because what is Castellanos got? What's he going to do? If his contract's up, he goes into free agency. Basically, his old general manager said, yeah, no one would even give us a fucking bag of baseballs for the guy. So what's his value on the free agent market?
You think the Twins are going to come scoop you up, buddy? Probably not.
I understand. Look, baseball, all sports is a business. Okay, but you don't air that dirty laundry out in public. And I think that's what's irking me the most about this situation, is that's what was done with him. And that's not going to give young players a whole lot of confidence that are coming up through the system. That's definitely not going to attract any free agents. And I know that the Tigers are going with the new model of build through the draft, keep young players that are affordable, that you can control for as long as you can, et cetera, et cetera. But you still are going to need to, plug in a free agent or two. And it's not like Detroit is a destination baseball town, all right? This isn't the Tigers of the late 2000s, early 2010s.
2012 was almost a decade ago. 2016, we're closer to a decade and a half. Or 2006, we're closer to a decade and a half.
I mean, if you look at that 2013 team, the one that Max Scherzer said, to this day, he says that's still the best baseball team he's ever been on. One, that's fucking 6 years ago. Two, most of the players that made up the core of that team were gone within 2 seasons. 3 seasons for sure. So I just don't get what's going on with the Tigers. And I'm starting to think that they're kind of rudderless and they're just kind of making it up as they go. And if that's the case, then that's not a good look. I can kind of
taking a page out of LeBron James's playbook.
Well, what I'm saying is I can kind of understand why Todd is it's kind of hard to do a baseball podcast when the team that I'm following the most is the Tigers, because really he's doing a post-mortem every fucking week on what happened the previous week with them. And I can understand why he's not exactly the most motivating team to sit here and try to do a show about, even though he does cover the entire league when he does do shows.
It's god awful. It is. Just getting the score updates, seeing the replays that I see every now and then. And I went to a game a few weeks ago, and the attendance is. Whew.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see any ushers?
Maybe. I don't know.
Did you guys actually sit in the seats you had tickets for?
Fuck no. Didn't need to walk around, just staying wherever. I'd probably walk down and just stand in front of the first base dugout.
Oh, I went to the game I'm thinking of in 2003. I went to a Tigers-Orioles game, and I went and sat right behind the Orioles dugout. It was like the 4th inning, and no one said a fucking word. And me and the ex-wife had, the whole row to ourselves. There was just no one there. And this is when you could buy $5 Skyline seats and go in and sit wherever the fuck you wanted. I'm sitting in a $130 seat, and I paid $5 to get in, and not one person said anything. So, that's the days that we're we're in, and wow. It's a really bad look for any organization. Any organization, when a GM starts basically talking shit about players who are still under contract with the team. Basically by saying that, hey, I tried to trade him and no one offered me anything, you're basically just giving up on the player. You're like, well, just play out your contract and then good luck with wherever the fuck you land. And that's basically what he's doing. So,
you know what though? In the world we live in too now, people won't look at it as hanging him out to dry. People will look at it as he's covering his ass. Well, why didn't you trade him? Well, I tried. Nobody gave me anything. Not my fault.
Well, that's a hell of a game he's playing.
Well,
because here's the thing: you're not the GM of the Yankees. You're not a GM of the Cardinals, of the Dodgers. A team where free agents want to go. To where even if you are an asshole of a GM, the big money contract and the chance of winning a championship will overrule that shit. You're the GM of a fucking farm team for the rest of the league at this point.
You're the GM of the Major League Indians. Who are these fucking guys?
Well, it's just more get off my lawn shit. It's just like, wow. If you're a GM, I think you should be held to a higher standard, and you should know better and understand that sometimes silence is the better part of valor. If someone says, well, why didn't you trade him? All you have to say is, well, we didn't get a package that we thought we were getting the value in return that we wanted. And just leave it at that. There's no need to go into, well, no one would give us anything. He's a scrub. Especially for a guy who has been, he is a leader in the clubhouse. He is one of the guys that seem to actually go out there and, he may suck in the field, but he's trying. I mean, Jesus Christ, a couple weeks ago, Gardenhire, had to basically apologize for the way the team played because he said these guys went out here and were bullshitting. Like, they were acting like the game was already over and their mind was on the card game, on the fucking plane to the next city. When that's your head coach saying that, you better value the guys that go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to play for 9 innings. Doesn't matter if I fucking suck. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give it my best. But that's that old school mentality, I guess.
Yeah, earning the millions of dollars you're making. That crazy old school mentality.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, dude, look, if his contract is up, okay, great, wonderful. But I mean, if he thinks that his career is basically going to be over with, or he's just going to be, a 25th guy on some other team, getting paid the league minimum or whatever. I mean, is that what you want? I mean, what if the guy gets hot? What if the guy had been had been having a good season, or he starts going on a tear before the trade deadline? Even if he does that, now you've put into the entire league's mind, oh, this guy's a fucking scrub. Nobody wanted him, and it's not smart business, and I don't understand it. And to me, that's a sign that you have a franchise who the wheels are coming off. It's what we were talking about earlier. It's the pointing the finger at everybody else.
Yeah, that's him, CYA, covering his ass. It wasn't me. I tried to trade him. Nobody gave me anything.
And we do know, believe me, any Detroit sports fan, any fan of the Tigers, knows that this team is more than capable of decade-long streaks of incompetence. And just shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, it took Mike Ilitch basically getting Dombrowski and Leland, the team, and going, okay, what did you do to win in Florida with the Marlins? And they were like, we bought all the fucking good players we could. And then we won our championship and sold them motherfuckers. And so Ilitch was like, sounds like a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for them.
I mean, they went out, and 1 year they signed, Pudge. Next year they signed Ordonez and Troy Percival, who didn't work out. Traded for Polanco. Got Gary Sheffield here. Traded for Dontrelle Willis. Of course, that didn't work out either. Brought Mags in, or not Mags, but Miggy in. Which worked for a while, but it ain't working now. That's for sure.
Oops.
But,
we knew that contract was going to be trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, it was basically, you hope you win a championship with him, and then you hope that he hits some career milestones while he's still with the team. and maybe that'll put asses in the seats. But I mean, do you think he's getting the fucking 500 home runs? The way he's playing doesn't look like it.
No.
I mean, not at all.
Get you 500 cheeseburgers.
I mean, let's see.
Look like Bernie Mac in the Mr. 3000.
He is at 469. He's hit 4 home runs in 69 games this season. He hit 3 in 38 last season before he got injured and they had to shut him down. He has 30 RBIs. How many hits does he have? You know what? I take that back. He could probably make 469 homers. One good season could put him up to 500. But I mean, he's sitting at 2,749 hits. I mean, the fact that I'm like, will he hit 3,000? Like, we wouldn't have been saying that fucking 2-3 seasons ago.
No, and the caveats I say to you, sir, are if he plays the whole season.
Yeah, because, dude, he's 17 years he's been in the majors now. 17 years, all right? He's not he's not a spring chicken anymore. I mean, he's 36. He's a big dude. It seems like his body's starting to break down on him as is, to the point where he's regulated to DH.
Good time pick me up at the police station, Miggy, is long gone.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. It because it happened with the Tigers, I was privy to a lot of the the inside information. I got to hear the interviews and stuff like that in the clips. But to me, this is just a bad way to run an organization. Like I don't know if I'm connecting dots where I shouldn't, but it just seems like since Mike Ilitch died, that organization has been very rudderless and kind of like, well, we'll just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And you can't do that. I mean, they realized that with the Red Wings. They brought in Steve Yzerman. They were like, look, we can't go through a 20-year stretch like we went through with the Tigers and the Red Wings at the same time.
And Detroit's always been a hockey town anyway.
There's rumors that Gilbert's going to be owning the Tigers.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that's what part of this is then. And because, you figure a new owner comes in, he's probably going to clean house in the front office. He's going to want to bring in his people.
If he's smart.
And I mean, it does seem like the Ilitches are paying a lot closer attention to what goes on with the Red Wings than they are with the Tigers these days. Like I said, if you're not from Detroit, you do not understand the hype and the excitement.
Well, they're paying a lot more attention to
them bringing Yzerman in as general manager. You just don't understand it. Like, they are talking on all day long on local sports stations about the NHL draft that just happened, and Yzerman picking Seider at number 6, he was projected to go around the 15th pick. When I asked him why I took him at 6, he said we tried to trade down, we couldn't get a trade partner, and we didn't want to pass this guy up. But the fact that they're talking about the NHL draft like it's the NFL fucking draft around here tells you how much excitement he brings to the table.
Right. That's like I was saying. The town's a hockey town, always has been. And the Ilitches are paying more attention to them because of it, but they're also paying more attention to their pizza franchise also. Coming out with different pizzas, different things, like you can walk into the store and pick up the pizza and not wait for a damn person, not one. It's not just hot and ready, it's hot and ready and now.
Well, unless you get one at Comerica Park, and then it ain't hot and it ain't ready. You're waiting.
It's $20.
And you ain't getting it right now either.
No, but let's be honest, they're not dumb. They know which organization made them billionaires.
Oh, definitely. Even though baseball is a more profitable sport.
Around here, I mean, hey, hockey town, let's be honest. I mean...
Right. I'll tell you what. If the Wings in the next 2 years get into the playoffs and get into the second round, that bandwagon is going to have no room on it. I don't know that it would be that way with the Tigers. I think it would be a lot like it was in 2006. I don't know if you guys remember, but when the Tigers made the playoffs in 2006 and they were like, okay, first round, Yankees, people were like, well, it's nice that we made the playoffs.
I was one of them.
There.
I was one of them. Oh, Yankees? Ha, all right, cool. Well, maybe next year.
You know, I mean, they had a rally, a playoff rally down at Hart Plaza that had 200 people at it.
Yeah, because they were like...
Before game on that series.
Yeah, because they were like, this is probably as far as we're getting. Let's have a party. Woo!
And I kind of wonder how many of those people were just bored homeless people that wandered over to Hart Plaza.
Right.
What was going on?
It's all the hubbub about.
Why is there a stage over there built shoddily? And I think I recognize that guy. I slept under his picture in the sports section the other day. You know,
do I smell food?
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. If Gilbert buys the Tigers, then this maybe that's why Alvin is just like whatever. If the Tigers are on the you know, up for sale, then he's got to know that his job is not secure. I mean, at that point, if Dan Gilbert buys him, it's going to be the press conference. Yes, we're going to review everyone's contract situation, but everyone's we're very happy with the front office we have right now at the moment. But we're gonna take a look at it, and at that point, I just start packing, you know, because I know what's coming.
Just go. Hey, anyone got a box?
Exactly.
I just start putting my shit in it.
Hey, call up the local Little Caesars and see if I can get a couple of their cheese boxes. Those are good for packing and moving shit.
My wife come in, honey, why are these people looking at our house? Because it's up for sale. Why? Because we just got bought by Gilbert. We're going somewhere else.
All right, well, we want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
A couple of things. Michigan, U of M, how you doing?
Nobody cares.
I know your basketball and your football team is, but your baseball team kicked ass today.
Nobody
College World
cares.
Series, game 1.
It's college baseball.
Yeah, I know.
We were talking about this before we started recording. If there were no minor league like the NBA and the NFL, we would give way more of a fuck about college baseball than we do as a group.
I'm just saying, I got to give a shout out to my boys, Maize and Blue.
You know who cares about the College World Series? People in Omaha. That's about it. It's a big boon for the economy. It's played there every year. But
and funny, the whole theme of our show tonight, the women's world soccer team won in a very, very questionable way on penalty kick.
Welcome to Iceman's new segment called Nobody Cares.
Right. In other news, does anybody know how the men's teams are doing? Anybody at all?
Nobody cares.
Exactly. But people care. No, people care about the World Cup of Soccer with the women. They always have. No. Ask Rich how he feels about Hope Solo. I'm just saying.
Hope Solo? What? I've seen her butthole more than I ever expected.
Well, no, we were talking about, what's her name, Alex Morgan?
Yeah, no.
Rich wanted to make a soup out of her panties.
Morgan, right. But see, I could do this all day. This is all women's soccer. And you know who these women are. Mia Hamm, Julia Foudy, you know them. So, yes, they won. They moved on, but it was a very controversial win.
What's Mia Hamm, like 50? Hasn't she been playing since like we were in high school?
Oh, she ain't playing no more.
But yeah, okay, cool. That's we're gonna call it your non sequiturs. We call them your new segment called Nobody Cares with the Iceman. You could talk about
the shout outs. You
could talk about college baseball. You could talk. Well, Rich, did you hear what he just said? He doesn't even listen. Maybe it's just part of the personality. It just comes with it.
I'm telling you, don't care.
All right. So, now that Iceman got his Nobody Cares segment out of the way, thanks to everybody who's listening. New listeners, we see you. We are now available on the iHeart Radio app. We're not involved with them, but they are distributing podcasts now, so you can listen to us there. So if you're on Android and still waiting for them to get their shit together for podcasts, you can check us out through the iHeartRadio app, of course, Spreaker.com, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, ChristopherMedia.net. So many ways for you to listen to us. So do it, damn it. Leave us reviews. A little short on the reviews. Rate us wherever you can. Review and rate us. It's not just Apple anymore. We would appreciate it if you do that, because that helps tell people, hey, you like the show, you should listen. We do everything now based by reviews, right? Look for a place to eat, place to buy a new piece of furniture, anything. We do it by reviews now, so if you leave people a review, let them know you like the show. We would appreciate it. At Sporgy Podcast on Twitter, Sporgy, at ChristopherMedia.net. Next time you probably hear from us, probably be about the All-Star Game, so in a couple weeks. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you then.
All right, later, guys.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
At DBS, you can study in the heart of Dublin city centre. Choose from over 40 CAO programmes in business, computing, psychology, social care and law. Programmes designed to help you create your future. Realise your ambitions. Apply now at dbs.ie.
SuperValue online shopping delivers convenience. And now with €15 off your first online shop over €75, we deliver value too. Or with our free click and collect service, you can pick it up in store, packed and ready to go. Shop online now at supervalue.ie. It's got to be SuperValue.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Dunkin' is here to help keep you up and running, Philadelphia, with a free medium hot coffee Monday through Friday, once a week for members only. So grab a cup of the new Explorer batch with smoky dark berry notes that's an adventure in every sip. Or give a try to the new Dunkin' Midnight, a richer, intensely dark roast with hints of chocolate. Get one free medium hot coffee once a week, Monday through Friday for members. Join the Dunkin' app today. America runs on Dunkin'. Exclusions apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer valid through January 29th.
You've been on the road for hours, covered 527 miles, listened to 3 podcasts, had 2 calls with your mom and 1 with your sister, and you're really hungry. And look at that. There's a McDonald's 1 mile up ahead meal. There's a meal for every moment at McDonald's.
Enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Get 2 of the same or 1 of each for $4. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with combo meal. Single item at regular price.